What is up, Jump Rope Master? You have made it to the last jumping video.
Hey. Congrats, congrats.
Congrats, congrats. Now, this time we have arm crossovers.
This is a fun one.
It is a fun one. Now, if timing ever played
Factor.
yeah, that's the word I was
jump
looking for. A factor in jump rope. This is timing, and you'll see why. Because you got to time when to cross and when to uncross. I'm using a different rope, if you haven't noticed, because I do my crosses better with this rope. This is the Aero Speed Jump Rope by Buddy Lee. Y'all go ahead and check that out. We use these in a lot of our videos on YouTube and a lot of our workouts and stuff. Why were we using a different video for the course? I don't know. We just wanted to match.
That's true. I tend to
Yeah.
use the weighted ropes.
Yeah. So we just wanted to match. But anywho,
Crossovers.
like, hey, yeah, both of them work. It's whichever one. And
Use
there's-
whichever rope you've got right
Yeah, and another suggestion too is if you want to use a long handle jump rope, it's not necessary, but like she said, use what you have. If you want to use a long handle jump rope to do these crosses, then go right ahead if you have that.
It might help.
Yeah, I know Buddy Lee has the Rope Master, where you can literally just take off these things like that and then transfer them into the Rope Master, or you can take out your rope and then transfer it over there and, you know, to the other handles. But like I said, it's not necessary. I'm going to show you how to do it. These handles are the Aero Speed handles. They're kind of small, you know, and we're gonna work with what we got.
We're gonna do it.
We're gonna do it. But yeah, before that,
Benefits.
exactly.
All these before benefits. Alright, so crossovers. We're talking about timing, right? So timing is vital and is very good benefit of crossover jumps. It's also going to help you with your rhythm, your balance, and coordination. And
Oh, yeah, that's where I come in now, right? But yeah, it's gonna help with this, since we are crossing and uncrossing. This looks like you're doing butterflies, sort of, you know what I'm saying? So it's gonna help with that chest, it's gonna help with that back, just because you're opening, closing, opening, closing, opening, closing, you know what I'm saying? And it's also gonna help with this grip strength, just because you're gonna whip it across, you know, whip it across.
and watch me whip.
Yep. And man, without further ado, let's get into this how-to. Now, I know, speaking for myself, I go and cross one side better than my other side. So when I cross, I'm going to be crossing my left over right.
You are going to have a hand that leads, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So like David said, he's going to be using his left hand to lead over his right hand. And then scooch back.
Yeah, everybody does these differently. Usually Rebecca is the demonstrator of the moves, but
Not today.
y'all got y'all boy. Now,
I will say though, I tend to cross with my right hand over left. Just saying. Go on.
yeah, so everybody is different. Like she just said, so when you cross, you say your right hand over your left.
Yep.
When I try to do the right hand over left, as you can already see, or like kind of get an idea, my rope gets tangled. I don't even know why, it's weird. But when I go, well, that just got tangled right there. But when I go my left over right, it's a little bit better. So what I'm doing,
Hand-foot coordination, guys.
yeah, so what I am doing right now is, and this is for you if you're a blind and visually impaired viewer, I have my rope in my hand. It's kind of tangled up. This is a PVC pipe cord, and it gets tangled up sometimes. I just unraveled it a little while ago, and it's not completely. Okay. just to whip it out a little bit. All right, so I got my handles in my hands, right?
As usual, start out.
My usual start out basic bounce. Now with this, I don't know if y'all remember me mentioning in the basic bounce how you have your, with the rope, sometimes it may be too long or whatever. You know, it's all a preference on how you have your shoulders and stuff. This is how we teach it here with the basic bounce. Arms jutted out, you know, 9 and 3 or 10 and 2. Elbows into the sides. I don't know if y'all remember when I said sometimes you may push your elbows back just so your arms are a little bit closer, and then you can do crosses and crosses like that. So this may play a factor. You know, if your stance is like that, you know, your elbows are a little further back and your hands are a little closer to your hips, you may not have to cross over as far, which is perfectly fine. Now, what I am doing is, and help me explain this too, but okay, basic bounce form.
Shoulders back, elbows in.
Shoulders back, elbows in. And like I said, I'm gonna cross left over to the right. So they both are coming in. My left is crossing over top of my right hand, or should I say my right arm, and then the right is going towards the left hip, left arm is going towards
the right hip. Yeah, so like his left hand is over his right arm. His right arm is now by his left hip, and his left arm is now by like his at least on the right side of his hip. They're not quite by his hips.
Yeah,
they're more
I'm like my
midsection.
left. Yeah, my left is more that, and that's why I started shaking it like this. I'm like,
his
so
left
where is
hand
that?
more
Because I can't really feel
around his bicep right now, which it might be a little bit lower when jumping. But it almost looks like he's giving himself a big hug.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be any for me personally.
Well, just like with the twirling of the ropes too.
Yeah.
Like of the wrists. You know what I mean?
Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's both going to be right here. I've tried it like down here, both by my hips before.
Well, no, I'm not saying it's by the hips. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the hips is a little bit too low. Because once you cross and jump, you gotta be able to uncross.
And that's the thing too. Depending on how big your chest is, male and female, is going to determine how much you're going to be able to cross and how high you're going to be able to cross, or low you're going to be able to cross. How flexible these shoulders are too, you know what I'm saying?
There's a lot that plays into this.
Yeah. And timing that is, like I said, a factor. When I'm jumping, when I crossed my arms, like I'm giving myself a big hug right now, like that, when I timed it, when I'm jumping, a lot of the times I noticed my right arm will go down, my left arm will go up, like this. So, like literally my left arm almost looked like
it was scooping upwards.
Yeah, like it's scooping upwards, and my right arm is, of course, pointing downwards.
By the hip.
By the hip.
So it's almost like his right hand is now by his left hip, and his left hand is by his right shoulder.
And I find when I'm doing crosses more so too, I'm almost in a crouched position just to, I wouldn't say give myself enough space, but I kind of feel like I explode into it. Like I'll be like, boom. You know, so I'm almost leaning forward a little bit more in like an athletic position. And y'all see what I mean when I start jumping it. But I'll like explode forward, cross my arms, and I feel like too, this has the rope down towards the ground. And then it goes around me and then I come back up. It's weird. But like I said, it's a timing thing, and this is where I find comfortable. So it's almost like I'm swiping the ground when I cross with both hands, like boom, you know, boom. I mean, I tried it, like I said, this way before, but it's not as pretty, you know, so I'm just doing
right over left.
Yeah, I tried the right over left, but the left over right is where it's more so good with me. And now I can try to show y'all what this looked like for me jumping.
So of course we'll walk it over slow so you'll be able to see. Do like the first
I don't
twirl.
know if I can do it slow.
I'm gonna walk you through it too.
Okay.
We're gonna just do the first twirl and show the crossover and let it hit your legs, right? So that's gonna be the motion, right? So once you see like him cross, do it again. Once that crosses, now he's got the U right there to be able to jump over and through. So once he jumps over and through that, now show. Well, yeah, it'll be hard to show that. But once he jumps through, so like step through it right there.
Okay. You said step through.
We're walking through. Yep. So you're gonna step both feet through. Excuse me. So now it's, as the rope continues over, he's gonna twirl back over his head.
Well, I can't
open his hands back up, just like that. Right? It's a little awkward to walk through, obviously, because this is a much faster pace.
Yeah, it's a much faster pace than trying
cross,
to
walk
and
through.
then uncross.
And as you jump through,
yeah, you're gonna have to literally cross, as she said, step through, and then you're gonna have to whip it back around you and uncross, just like that.
Yeah, that's just to kind of, again, get the feel of what this jump is gonna be, so that once we actually start jumping,
So, cross.
you'll be able to
Step
at least know
through,
what's happening
then-
as you're jumping.
See, it's hard to flip it around you. Uncross.
And I'm not expecting you to be able to do that, right?
Yeah.
I just want you to be able to like see and understand what that looks like and what that feels like. So now David's gonna try jumping.
Am I good right here?
Yeah, I mean you're kind of like in between mats,
Okay.
but if you're okay right there.
I think.
So starting out in the basic bounce, you can cross right there and uncross. Just like that, cross, uncross, jump, cross, uncross, jump, cross, uncross, jump, cross, uncross, jump, cross, uncross, jump. Just like that. It's a little fast to see, and David does it very smoothly as well.
But yeah. So you cross, and then I guess what was going on was, you know how I said too, you gotta bring it back around you and uncross, like, yeah. So gotta really whip it, you know?
Yeah, the rope is still gonna keep going. Even though you crossed it, it's still going in that circular motion.
Yeah, so you gotta really whip it across,
Make sure
and
you
especially make sure you get it to the other side, and then
keep control of the rope.
uncross it, yeah. Keep control of the rope. I'll let y'all see how it looked going the other way, just so y'all know what I'm talking about.
That was right over left.
That was right over left. See what I mean? But I'll even show it again. Okay, I actually did it. I'm a little more, like I said, like, I had to a little bit more.
I mean, it's like someone who, you know, while running, they might have a preference of which foot they start with. I mean, you'll have a preference with your arm as well.
Yeah, so with the
So it's
cross.
just figuring out what's more comfortable for you, what works for you, and
So-
how you're able to get that timing down.
Yep. So, just kind of like how I did it too. You can build into it going, you know, one cross, just like that. And then, as Rebecca said, you step through it, and then you uncross it you try to whip it over your head. As it comes back down, you uncross it. Then you can start putting in there some jumps, and then do some jumps in between like that. And then you can start trying to string them together. You know,
By the
one
way,
or two,
just a
three.
real quick clarifier, the uncrossing is basically just going back to your basic
Yeah,
bounce
basic
form.
bounce form. Yeah, whatever your basic bounce
We
form
want
is.
you to still keep
So,
those
yeah.
elbows in.
So you cross, and then
You hug yourself, and then
Uncross.
back to basic bounce.
yeah. And that's why I said too, if you are one of them people, you know, one of those jump rope masters that hold up, keeps your hands in like this, you know, you can see how it can probably be a little more.
Okay, once your elbows are in
Yeah.
really tight like that, like You're really able to whip the rope.
You're really able to whip the rope, and you don't have to go as far. I just have my elbows back a little bit further, and then I was able to, you know, whip it a little bit faster. But I even noticed that I caught my shoulder, you know, with the rope when it was coming over me when I was crossing over. So make sure you can time that and you get something that is right for you. You know, by this point, hopefully you have developed your flow and your style, and you just work this into what you have going. You know, if I throw these into my workout, which I do every once in a while, this isn't one of my go-tos, but of course I still do it for the benefits. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, really take it slow, get that motion down.
Yeah.
Figure out your timing.
You know, as you can see, like I said, I got my own little flavor to it. Like I said, I kind of, you know, boom, boom, you know. So of course, if I'm alternate foot stepping and, you know, side straddle or whatever, and basic bouncing, double under, and then like, you know, into a cross and stuff like that. Just, you know, like I said, it's just flowing, just freestyling, side swing into a cross, you know, whatever.
Yep.
It's all about your style now at this point. You've made it.
Practice, practice, practice.
Exactly. You have made it to the end right here. The last jump that we have for you. And we're proud of you.
Very proud of you.
Yep. So let's do a quick recap of what this move helps with. And let's keep jumping on it. So let's go.
Right?
So recap.
Yeah, I mean, we're working on some hand-foot coordination here. We're building even more so on our timing, our rhythm, balance.
Muscular endurance in this chest, this back, because you're opening and closing, you know, and you're crossing these arms. So it'll really help with that mobility in your shoulders, the muscular endurance in your shoulders. You know, get these arms and these shoulders, these hands, this grip. That's what it also helps with, really strong. So try to do this with a heavy rope too, you know what I'm saying? Play around with it. So, and then of course, to do it, you're going to, and last,
Start out in basic
bounce, right? You know, and then, like I said, this will be whatever side you want to do. Figure out what side is good for you, what side you're comfortable with. But how I do it, you know, you're going to take your right handle pointed down towards the left hip, across. You know, you're going across the body, and your left handle is going to go towards the like bicep area.
Like the elbow, maybe?
Elbow area, yeah.
Of the right side.
Of the right side.
Giving yourself a hug.
Yep. And make that U shape just so you can jump right through. And of course, you know, you can do other moves with this too. If you can do side straddles and crosses, you can do running in place with crosses. That's what I usually do it with. I'm like alternate foot stepping and I hit my crosses like that. But
start out with basic balance.
Yeah, start out with basic balance. Yeah, before you try to do different things. But yeah, so.
Yeah, once you cross and the rope keeps turning, then you uncross.
When you uncross it when it's in front of you, just like this, you know, it'll be like right there, and then you uncross it, and you're back in your basic bounce.
And you just keep going.
And you just keep on jumping. And that, like we said, deals with that timing. Make sure you stay light on your feet, and make sure at the same time, like we said, you get it down first. Be able to string them together. You know, you can do a couple of jumps in between. Do a 1, then go 2 in a row, 3 in a row, 4 in a row, 5 in a row. Go up to however many you like.
This is when you really gotta just kind of take a step back on, just practice, 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 practice.
Yep. So, yeah. We're proud of you for making it this far.
We'll see you in a minute.
Yep. Let's keep jumping.